This is Fifth Avenue. In less than 10 minutes of walking, you pass through more than a century of changing priorities. But this story isn't about New York. It's about how people change. You pass a cathedral built for faith, a corporate plaza designed to organize public life, a mansion meant for status, and a glass cube designed to make buying effortless. And that order isn't random. It follows the similar pattern all of us move through. We want something to believe in, to belong, to be seen. And sometimes we want things to be really easy. Fifth Avenue simply lays that story out in stone. Let's hear it. We start here, year 1879, the St. Patrick's Cathedral. It stands as a colossal declaration that faith was the foundation of the city's ambition. The 330 feet tall cathedral took almost 21 years to build and close to $2 million. Take a moment to look at the side of the cathedral. See those arching stone supports leaning against the main wall? Those are the flying buttresses. This wasn't just ornamentation, it was radical old world technology. The buttresses pushed back the colossal weight of the roof and the stone walls, which allowed the architects to pierce the walls with those enormous stained glass windows. The structure is literally held up by stone arms so that the light, symbolizing the divine, can pour in. Now, this church wasn't just for the elite. This was an ultimate statement of New York's Catholic population, mainly impoverished Italian and Irish immigrants who donated their meager earnings, sometimes pennies, to fund this enormous project. They were funding their right to belong. St. Patrick's wasn't just a cathedral, it was an aspirational project, a concrete, towering symbol that declared that their community was a permanent and a powerful force in the city. It was deliberately placed in what was the wealthiest residential district in the country back then. It was meant to be a constant, towering reminder that wealth was supposed to serve a moral purpose. It was an inescapable check on ego. This was New York's grandest statement about God, a building built for the ages, focused entirely on the immaterial. And then the street changes, not in style, but in authority. Facing the cathedral rises something completely different. It's the first massive challenge to the cathedral's authority, the Rockefeller Center. Built during the Great Depression, this isn't just a single building. It's a city within a city. 19 commercial buildings rising like mountains around a central sunken plaza. Where the cathedral looks backward to medieval Europe and divine authority, Rockefeller Center looks forward. The design makes that clear. The stacked Art Deco form emphasizes order and control, celebrating humanity's ability to plan, structure, and manage complexity. There are no saints here. Instead, you'll find figures celebrating radio waves, heat, and electricity, the forces that make modern capitalism possible. Even the location is genius. The setback from Fifth Avenue creates channel gardens and the iconic ring, giving pedestrians a theatrical open space that invites people to gather, linger, and consume. Rockefeller Center marks a turning point. The city is no longer defined by faith, but by systems, by commerce, and by power. Let's move a few blocks south to the Cartier Mansion. This isn't a skyscraper, it's a Beaux Arts palazzo, and the story behind it is pure New York audacity, the architecture of pedigree. This is an imported style of architecture that signaled old world aristocratic legitimacy. It is a kind of wealth that was not earned but inherited over generations. This building was originally built in 1904 for banker Morton Plant and his wife. Its very design, with thick walls and ornate detailing, was meant to be private and exclusive. In 1970, Pierre Cartier acquired this building in one of the most famous real estate deals in history. He traded a rare double-stranded natural necklace, then worth $1 million, for this 6-story building. The necklace was for Morton Plant's wife, the building for Cartier's flagship store. But here's the irony. By 1917, the Japanese were perfecting cultured pearls, which would soon crash the natural pearl market. Now, we don't know if Cartier already knew about it, but it was definitely a strategic move to prioritize a New York City flagship store location over a rapidly devaluing high-end jewelry market. The cathedral demands you look inwards. The Rockefeller Center demands you look at the system. The Cartier Mansion demands you look at the price tag. It tells you the ultimate value is the exclusivity of desire itself. And now we take our final and most radical jump to the Apple Cube. If the cathedral was about the sacred and the Cartier was about the exclusive, the Apple Cube is the architecture of convenience and access. It's just a glass box, or rather a portal. The value isn't in the architecture above ground, it's the total lack of obstruction to the experience below. It is the ultimate anti-building, a profound contrast to the value and permanence of stone and concrete structures around us. The original cube was famous for its minimal glass, but the 2019 rebuild took it a step further, reducing the total number of glass panels from 90 to 15, making it appear even more seamless and invisible. It is transparent, minimal, and crucially approachable 24 hours a day. It is not designed to humble you or organize you or to impress you with old world detail. It is designed to remove every single barrier between you and the thing you desire. In just a few blocks, we witness the city trade its verticality of faith with the accessibility of commerce, from a building that asks you to give up your worldly goods to a building that's open 24 hours so that you can acquire them. We moved from the ultimate truth being inside of us to being in the system, to being in the price tag, to being in the object in your hand. The architecture is confessing. Are you listening?